Well, hey, good evening. We're back. Got my daughter Ruthie with me
Again.
again, and we're going to talk about real stuff. So, first topic, and we're just kind of shooting from the hip here, but what do you think about being homeschooled?
It's kind of nice because I have no idea what it's like going to public school, and I hear all these stories about, like, people saying that public school is horrible, and I don't know.
So, who do you hear the stories from? Public school students?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you're homeschooled. What do you not like about homeschooling?
Well, sometimes it's kind of hard because there's not really a time where that's assigned, unless, of course, my mom tells me that I have to be done with school at a certain time. But there's not really an assigned time to be done with school, so sometimes it can go late into the night, I guess.
So you find it hard to manage your time then?
Yeah, it's really
Sometimes.
hard to manage my time wisely.
Yeah, but it's good that you're aware of that, so you can kind of get better. Is there anything else you don't like about homeschool?
Sometimes I can get a little bit tired of being around my younger siblings.
Yeah, because you're with you're with your brother and your sisters almost every day, aren't you?
Yep.
And mom and dad when I'm
Yeah.
home. Yeah. What do you really like about homeschool?
I just kind of like homeschooling. There's not really anything that stands out about. I mean, it's kind of nice because yeah, I love my teacher. She's my mom. But I don't know.
So why are you homeschooled? Why are we homeschooling you?
Well, because you feel like that's what God has told you to do.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to be, the primary influence on you guys, and make sure that you not only had good character, you know, and knew how to treat people with respect and kind of interact appropriately and be responsible and all that, but we did want you to know the Lord as well.
Yeah, and not be exposed to as much.
Yeah, because not that public school is like, you know, terrible and all that, and a lot of people send their kids to public school, you know.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
just what you kind of have to do if you, like, maybe if the mom and the dad were working, there's not really a way you can homeschool your kids.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of parents are in that situation.
Or you're a single parent.
Or you're a single parent, you know, and you have to, like, that's, you know, you pretty much you have to do that so that you can go to work and all of that. You know, that, or maybe just not equipped at all to
Yeah.
teach the kids or whatever. You
And
don't
that's
feel
okay.
comfortable doing that, and that's fine. And again, it's not like there's like all, you know, public schools are filled with like terrible kids or anything like that.
Yeah, I've met some really nice people that are in public school.
But we'd be naive to say that they were all, you know, decent people and all that. There is definitely a negative contingent of both students and teachers in that kind of setting. And the thing is, you know, one of the, I guess, criticisms of homeschool and all that is that, oh, well, your kids aren't going to be socialized. Oh, your kids are going to, they're going to be awkward and not, you know, be super backwards.
You know, that's every kid, though, nowadays.
You know, but the thing is, kind of the way we're looking at it is like, well, the kids can, there's, you know, we got 5 kids, so you guys aren't going to be like backwards and awkward. You know how to like talk to one another. But the other thing is that they're either going to learn how to treat other people by how their peers are treating each other, or they're going to learn that from us.
Yeah.
And from like mom and dad, right? And so, you know, we'd rather them learn like those social skills and things like that, you know, from us, you know, and know how to respect people and interact and all that, than being with a bunch of like foul-mouthed kids that are totally disrespectful to their parents, don't listen, you know, always creating drama, right?
Ugh. I'm
And
so glad I'm
we
not.
know some kids like that. We know kids that it's always drama and you can't follow instruction, you know. And the thing is, if they can't follow instruction, if you can't follow instruction, it's not going to go very well for you when you you get in the real world and you're in a work setting. You're having to do things that maybe you don't want to do, but you're being asked to do, and you're being paid to do a job. You know, and you have to summon the willpower, and the self-control to get the job done and learn to be passionate about work and put your whole heart into whatever you're doing. So that's just a piece of why we're homeschooling other, to be the primary influence and have plenty of opportunities to teach you things about.
And also, I think it'd be a lot harder if I were in public school because I have learning disabilities. I think it's so much easier that I have my parents to help me. I mean, even if you're in public school, your parents likely could help you, but it's just a lot easier this way to know how I learn, and I don't have to follow a certain agenda. Well, it depends. But
So what's the learning disabilities you're talking about?
Dyslexia and Dyscalculia. So basically that makes all my schoolwork hard.
So what is dyslexia, if you had to summarize that for someone that's, maybe is out there watching, doesn't know?
It's kind of hard to explain for some people like me, because I'm still trying to figure out what works best, but it's basically a learning disability for reading and spelling. Like, it was really hard for me to learn to read. I didn't start to fluently read until I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade.
But now you're pretty good, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot better.
Yeah, so some of the challenges with that is coming up with strategies to
Yeah.
learn material and stay engaged. It's really easy to get distracted, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's so hard.
Now, a little side note on dyslexia, for years they thought it was something with how the brain's wired, but there's some research we came across where they think really it has to do something with the eyes and how you see things.
I'm very visual.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I can even sometimes, it's a lot better now, but last year I could block out, like, I couldn't remember anything that anyone would say. I just kind of space out. But, everybody could do that, but it happened a lot for me. And it was just kind of weird that it was happening a lot. And, yeah, just kind of weird.
Yeah, so we're finding what are some strategies that have worked for you as far as the reading part in homeschooling?
Well, exercise helps with focusing, and it helps when I'm talking to someone or taking notes. Taking notes is a big thing. Even if you're just talking to me, like my dad and I were working on a science project, and he was just kind of talking, and I have to take notes so I can remember all of the things for that project. So it helps with notes and just talking to someone.
Yeah. So what about dyscalculia? What is that?
It's with math and science and stuff like that.
It's kind of the same deal, right?
Formulated type deal, yeah.
Having to do with numbers and switching things around,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so definitely some challenges that our daughter Ruthie's facing with all that. But one thing that's been kind of neat is of all the kids, she's seems to be the most determined. Like, works really hard at the schoolwork and does what she needs to do to master the material. And so even though it takes her longer to learn or grasp, a concept or something, once she has it, she has it. And she's got a really good work ethic as a result of that. And just kind of a stick-to-itiveness, right? She sticks to things and gets stuff done. And it's not always fun, but... And a lot of times we're doing homework on the weekends to stay on pace with what they've got to do to have a good school year. And I know that
I hate doing schoolwork on Saturdays and Sundays.
that is frustrating. But so anyway, yeah, that's just a little bit about homeschooling. Obviously, there's some pros and cons to it. For the most part, the kids seem to enjoy being homeschooled and just the freedom that it affords them to really do school on their schedule, have the flexibility to go places, whatnot, as long as we're getting the work done. Now, in Ohio, where we live, the requirement is you have to write a letter to the superintendent of the school system and kind of explain what you're doing, and then they do test. You either have to
Yeah.
pass a test, standardized testing to show that you're on par with like the general populace, or you have to present like a project, a
Nice.
portfolio of work. So we've had the kids tested the last 2 years, and they've done fine. It's not been an issue whatsoever. So anyway, if maybe some of you guys out there are curious about homeschooling, thinking about doing it, feel free to post a comment.
Yeah, and we could do a more detailed video on learning disabilities because there's a lot more to it, especially emotionally.
Yeah, there's definitely been some challenges. Now, I will say, her mom, my wife, she is, spearheading a lot of that, is real passionate about helping her,
Yeah.
manage these things so that it doesn't become an excuse, or a crutch that, well, I can't learn, or I can't do this, or I'm never going to be able to do that because of these things. It's more, no, let's figure out the strategy. Let's, work at it until we master it. That's the other thing with the homeschooling, especially with the learning disabilities, is that you have the freedom of teaching, at least from what I've been told, because I'm not doing the majority of the teaching. My wife's doing.
That's right.
Yep, she just chimed in. But the really cool thing about it is that you teach to mastery. It's not about trying to get all this stuff done. It's
Yeah.
you stay on that until you've demonstrated you've mastered it, and then you go on. And so
Yeah.
that's a really cool thing. So in some ways, you can go as fast as you're capable, and you can also slow down too and adjust the pace, and we can add school days or add to the school
Yeah, we could
each day.
We could do school over the summer if
Yeah.
we didn't get it done in the winter, which would stink, but that's
Yeah.
what happens sometimes.
So overall, it's been good, and we probably make some more videos along that line, and maybe something more detailed on dyslexia and dyscalculia, because there's a lot of people out there that struggle with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people it goes undiagnosed, and they don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get diagnosed until this past year. We kind of knew that I had dyslexia, but we didn't know about the dyscalculia part, because I'm currently kind of behind in math.
Yeah.
So that can explain a lot of things.
So we found someone who licensed professional who could diagnose that and all
Yeah.
that. And one of the big reasons is so definitely pinpoint it and then try to figure out things we can do to help
Yeah.
help Ruthie with her learning and stuff like that. But also when he gets to if she were to decide she wants to go to college or something like that, there's reasonable accommodations available. As far as the testing and
Yeah.
learning and things like that otherwise she wouldn't have access to. So anyway, it's just one of the challenges in life. Again, I'm sure there's some of you guys out there, you get your own challenges, either things you're facing or that your kids are facing. And so it's good just to, be real and talk about these things. So anything else you want to talk about?
How about if you want us to do a more detailed video on learning disabilities, then comment down below.
Yeah, you give it a thumbs up, right? Or a thumbs down.
Yeah. How many dislikes can we get?
No, so anyway, I guess that's it for now. We'll catch you all next time. Bye.
Happy gardening.
Happy gardening.